As I have pointed out on the iTunes clips that we have prepared for you, it is so that we still could, in quite a likelihood, expect localized catastrophes to occur. The global catastrophes that will cause a massive lowering of consciousness will no longer occur. And we've explained that as well. But the fact that localized catastrophes, instead of lowering planetary consciousness, creates wave of empathy and compassion, could still be a factor in their occurring in the future. And if that is the case, my beloved light family, it is necessary for us to be, in fact, prepared for the worst so that we can have the luxury of expecting the best. How do we take care of ourselves? Well, in the multiple books that I have written, I give you the tools. I give you the tools of reading your environment, getting clear enough to know your intuition. All of these things have been part of the journey of the books that I have written. But the part that I have not given you is the physical part, which I would like to discuss today. The physical preparedness comes in several instances. It comes in the form of shelter, it comes in the form of monetary preparedness, job preparedness, and sustenance, a very big one. So let's start with the big one first, sustenance. It is said if there is an emergency, part of the biggest problem is in fact shelter. But shelter can be taken care of a lot easier than you can take care of preparedness for food and sustenance, which includes water. So what I do at all times is I have a little tent handy. My sleeping bags are handy, and I can grab them at a moment's notice. And if I see that we are in troubled times, they could even find a nest in the back of my trunk. But the bottom line of it is, if I need to move out and have a tent to be in, it's available. One should also have a 14-day preparedness kit, basics that you can live on for 14 days. You should have in your savings, no matter what it takes, 3 months' worth of salary. You should also have approximately a year or so of food supplies for your family members. How do you do that? Well, it's not as complicated as it seems, because there are just 5 basic groups of food from which you can produce a year's worth of food. The first one is you need to have ability to have clean water. What I have is I have a little water distiller, and it will distill for me a gallon of water a day. I happen to live by the ocean, but even if I have to move inland, and even if the water source is polluted, a distiller will fix for me drinking water for my family for 1 day. I have a wood stove, just a little one, stuck in the corner of my garage. If we have no electricity, I can either cook there or I can cook in the fireplaces, and I can use it to distill the water that I need to. So let's take a look at the other food groups. You need salt. A bag of salt will see a family through a very, very long time. And then the next food group is that which is grain. Wheat that is organic, germinable, and hard winter wheat is the best. You will need 200 pounds of that per person for a year. From that, you can produce steaks from its gluten. You can produce sprouts, you can produce wheatgrass, bran, malt. All sorts of things can be produced from that. You need a sweetener. You need 50 pounds of honey per person per year. You can use sugar. In that case, you will need 100 pounds per person per year. Then the only thing you need in addition to that is something that produces calcium. You can either find a freeze-dried type of milk powder. Other milk powders lose their nutritional value after a short time. Or you can put away something like pinto beans, soybeans. You can produce milk from that if you need to. That basically takes care of it. Make a little place in your garage for it. Make sure that you have not only some cash on hand, but also some gold and silver in smaller denominations, and that you have some savings. In these times, when things change very rapidly, so could the job market. So make sure that you have that salary put away for your family. It is also very handy to have just a first aid kit handy and to know how to do CPR. But ultimately, my beloved brothers and sisters, none of this will be necessary for yourself if you are in the right place at the right time, because the global catastrophes will not happen. You will move prior to that. If you follow your heart's guidance, if we walk a path with heart, we are always living our highest truth. It's when our mind gets in the way that it muddies the water. Therefore, take time each day for deep, meaningful living. In the evening, look at the lessons and the insights of your day's experiences. In the morning, listen to the guidance of your heart. If you do this, you will always be living according to your highest truth, and your highest truth's intention is not that you suffer. Growth now comes through support.